Problem formulation is critical for policy analysis. Solving the wrong problem is one of the most well-known pitfalls, and unfortunately it is quite common. Before you invest in any further problem analysis, you will want to do a first check to see if you indeed can expect that your topic could benefit from policy analysis. This check is fairly easy to do once you know the key components in a policy problem. Let's look at them one by one. First, we speak of a problem when there is a gap between the desired situation and the existing situation, or when we expect a future gap between a desired future situation and the expected future situation. For instance, 30 years ago, climate change was a problem because rising temperatures were expected to change future climate conditions, leading to numerous undesirable consequences. Today, you could argue that climate change is a current problem, with more and more extreme weather events that lead to loss of life, economic damage, and other undesirable consequences. These are relevant gaps for a policy problem. Not everyone may worry about the same gap. What, for one organization, may be a problem, may be an acceptable situation for another. In short, the problem is subjective. Different stakeholders will see different desirable futures and therefore see different problems. You have to be explicit about your problem owner. Is this the Ministry for Environmental Affairs or the Ministry for Industry? It will make a difference. In a policy, we formulate actions, strategies, or regulations that we expect will help us to improve the situation. We do this to close, reduce, or prevent a gap. For instance, to prevent damage from flooding. This means that for a policy problem, only a problem owner and a gap are not sufficient. We also need to have some influence on this gap, some actions we could consider to solve the problem. This influence can be directly, but also indirectly. And this brings us to the next element of a policy problem, at least for policy analysis. We have a gap, we have actions or policies to influence this gap, but to require further analysis, we also need a dilemma. A dilemma created by the presence of different alternative actions, each of which will have partly desirable and partly undesirable consequences. There are trade-offs involved. Finally, policy is all about coordination or collective action. This can be coordination in a private company between different corporate units or staff members, or coordination in the public domain between multiple actors. This means that, besides your problem owner, also other stakeholders or actors will be involved in the problems. We will use both to refer to organizations, groups, or individuals who play a role in a policy problem, either because they also care about the problem, because they are supporters or opponents for your problem owner, or because they are needed for a successful solution, or maybe they are likely to be affected by a solution, or because they are causing the problem. So, in conclusion, your very first step as a policy analyst is to check that you are dealing with a policy analysis problem, and to do a first check against the key elements: problem owner, gap, actions, trade-offs causing a dilemma, and actors or stakeholders. If you have checked that those elements are there, you are ready to start.